a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC podcasts are a service of CNC Worldwide. A wind chill warning has been declared for all of western and central New York beginning at 12 a.m. Thursday and running until 10 a.m. Friday. Wind chill values will go as low as 25 below zero Wednesday night and 30 below on Thursday night. This is because of a second blast of intensely cold air taking aim at Rochester, a couple of inches of lake effect snow, a good bet each night as well. The FBI has been putting up billboards along highways from Florida to Maine. They're looking for new leads and witnesses in one of this area's most notorious unsolved murder cases. It's been 3 weeks since Livingston County authorities announced the young woman found shot to death in a cornfield in Caledonia 35 years ago was finally identified as Tammy Jo Alexander of Florida. Livingston County and FBI officials say they're now searching for new information through these billboards, which ask anyone who may have seen the teenager during her travels all those years ago to call the FBI's Violent Crime Unit. Analysts will correlate any new data with thousands of records of similar cases and the thousands of tips received over the years in the Alexander investigation. They'll look for connections that could help break the case. Sheriff Thomas Doherty says many new tips have come in since Tammy Jo Alexander was identified, and investigators already been to Florida following them up. State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli says his office has audited how police departments take care of property seized as evidence during investigations, and only Irondequoit and Elmira were able to account for every item every time. The Comptroller's office audited 10 police agencies statewide, looking at how they secured evidence and confiscated property, including cash, drugs, and guns. On average, 7% of all the items the auditors checked on could not be located. 6 departments couldn't account for all the vehicles their records said they had. 4 agencies were missing firearms they should have had on hand. DiNapoli says the Irondequoit and the Elmira departments were able to correctly account for every piece of evidence or contraband that the auditors checked. Governor Cuomo, who seems to favor competition in everything these days, has announced another one, this time for advanced energy projects. The governor's office says the state will award up to $20 million for the most forward-thinking energy projects from Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, or Yonkers. The governor says they want projects that can reduce energy costs by as much as $400 million a year, lower carbon emissions, and create new jobs in the clean energy business. The New York Power Authority will run the competition. The planning director for the city of Rochester will challenge the city's former police chief for a seat on the Monroe County Legislature. Mitch Rowe has announced as a Democratic Party candidate for the 23rd District seat. Former Police Chief James Shepard has already announced his candidacy. The current legislator is Paul Haney, who can't run for re-election because of term limits. Rowe served in the county legislature once before, 2002 to 2005. A Rochester teenager who grabbed a car off the street for a joyride has been indicted on charges of kidnapping and grand larceny by a Monroe County grand jury. Jarrett Gross told investigators he never noticed the 5-year-old strapped into a car seat in the back when he stole that car outside School 34 on Lexington Avenue last month. He drove it just a couple of blocks, then abandoned it around the corner from the school on Argo Park. The child sat in the back of the car for about 90 minutes before police found him and reunited him with his mother. 2 Monroe County jail inmates have been indicted by a grand jury on manslaughter charges in connection with the death of a 3rd inmate. Treshawn Bell and Darren Bridges, who are both 19, pleaded not guilty to the beating death of a 38-year-old, Pedro Sanchez. Sanchez died at Strong Memorial Hospital a day after a fight in which police say Bridges held Sanchez while Bell assaulted him. The jail superintendent said there had been no indication of trouble between the three before that fight. A traffic stop on I-390 for a defective exhaust led to a host of charges against 2 Rochester residents. The Livingston County Sheriff's Office says a deputy pulled the car over in Avon. The driver was 34-year-old Lois Bonilla Roman. She turned out to have a suspended license and was arrested. A bag of cocaine was found in the car. The passenger, 51-year-old Juan Lopez, had more cocaine hidden in his shoes. Deputies also found inspection stickers stolen from a Monroe County car dealer. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.